This one is from Mr. Mittens.
Mr. Mittens.
It says, "Hey MCA Pod, it's Mr. Mittens 18." Oh, hey Mr. Mittens. For the next or any guest, streaming brings together a lot of different things outside of just playing the game, learning the audio, video, management, sponsorship, branding. Not to mention utilizing all social medias everywhere, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. So right now, and you kind of hit on this question already, so I'm going to expand it a little bit for him. What was the hardest thing to learn as a new streamer, even as you continue? So I would like, personally, I think continuing to be a content creator now, what is the toughest thing to stay on top of all of the different stuff, in your opinion? Like right now, the hardest thing to make sure you're hitting or not hitting, where should people be that maybe they're not doing well enough, and that if you're new, it might be a good place to start to get yourself going?
Personally, it's consistency, man. I think consistency will be the end all be all in a situation like this, right? Even if you can't stream daily or consistently on a daily basis, then if you're able to have a consistent schedule where you say Friday nights, I'm going to be here at this time, then you're sort of able to sort of churn that machine. Aside from that, if you're so all over the place, like it's hard to follow. So for me, it would have to be consistency.
Consistency. We get that one a lot. Yeah. I think people confuse consistency with just a massive hours live, which isn't necessarily the same thing.
Right. For sure.
I think it's about creating that becoming part of someone's routine.
Yeah, to Hutch's credit, he does 4 hours, right? But he does 4 hours consistently.
And they know where
he's you don't have to do 13 hours every day. You can, but that's not necessarily the consistency. That's quantity.
And he's a consistently shitty teammate. So that also helps, you know?
There you go. Hot dog.
Selfish.
Selfish.
The consistency and I think that the biggest thing is just communication, right? The guy who communicates better than anybody, and I use it all the time, and I've used this example a ton with this answer, Go Carnage. He communicates what he is doing better than anyone I've ever seen in content. You know exactly what the guy plays. A different game almost every day, sometimes 2 different games in the morning and then in the night. And but you know where you can go to find out what he's going to play, and you can decide whether or not you're going to be there or not. And he's got the most consistent group of people that watch him regularly, even though his games are all over the place. He knew that he was going to have to hyper communicate, so the people that wanted to catch a certain type of content knew when to be there. And obviously he's hyper consistent, right? He streamed like 1,000 straight days or something. Like, he's got the world record, or whatever. That helps. But the guy plans better than anyone. So if you're like, I can only stream like Mondays and maybe Fridays, okay, plan it and just hyper communicate it. Especially when things come up, just let them know as soon as you can, and people will literally, like the people who hang with you will hang. They'll hang because they trust that they're going to know, and they won't have to they won't just forget you. They won't forget about you when you're communicating with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think the other thing is don't expect this to be don't expect to be famous. Don't expect to be uber successful in that. I think that if people go into it with a plan, with the sole plan of creating something that they're going to be proud of at the end of the night. So whether it's that 3-hour stream that you felt really good about, good interaction with anybody, whether it's 30 people, 20 people, 15 people, whether you're creating a video, whether you're creating a piece of art, the reward is going to be that piece of content itself. The reward is going to be how proud you are of that. Everything else, making a living off of this thing, making a super good living off of this, being just uberly successful off of this, that's the cherry on top. Your number one goal should be to create something that you are proud of creating, that you think it's dope, because if you do, then more than likely other people sometimes will be able to sort of catch on to that vibe. But if you go out there with this thing, it's like, all right, I'm gonna quit my job right now, which means that by the end of this month, I need to make $3,500. You're just mentally, you're gonna fuck yourself. Physically, you're gonna just exhaust yourself, and at the end of the day, you're gonna hate something that you thought you were gonna love because you went into it the wrong way. So if you go into it with the thought that, you know what, I like seeing streamers, I'm gonna stream myself. If you create a good stream, whether 10 people watch it or 20 people watch it, doesn't matter. As long as you're proud of that, you're happy within yourself, that will allow you to continue to do that, improve, grow, etc.
Beautiful. And